All right, welcome guys. This is Talk the Walk, episode 10. It's kind of a special episode. I'm Didier Beauvais. I'm known as Top Credits here at the WBGC. Just want to introduce myself. I know I'm kind of behind the scenes and people don't really, know who I am, but I'm the co-founder of the WBGC. And me and Sean Porter, we wanted to put a gaming community together that's focused on boxing. If you think about it, Sean and I, we have about like 27 years in the boxing industry, especially Sean being, two times welterweight champion. And once we found out that Sean was going to be in the game, we wanted to kind of give back. And one of the things is, developing a gaming community that focused on boxing, that we want to develop a group that handles the standards and pretty much level the playing field for all gamers out there who's interested in, experiencing the true boxing, the organic boxing experience. And one of the special privileges that I've came across was collaborating with, players, getting to know them, getting to know their likes. Sean Porter as well. And one interesting aspect is the leagues out there that are forming. And two particular leagues I want to introduce is the UBL and True Sims. And these guys, they've been in the scene for a long time as far as the video game scene. And I want to somehow bring the Portaways podcast fan base, viewing base, who are like true organic boxing fans. I want to see how we can combine, the video game space, the fans, which, fortunately SCI Undisputed is the a great game that just came out almost under a year ago, and we want to support the movement of providing that true boxing experience. And through the trials and tribulations that we're coming across, I really still believe that the light is at the end of the tunnel. And enough with all the negative talk out there, we still want to bring the community together and strong. And I think a prime example is these two gentlemen here, Tenderless King and Grumpy. They're gonna explain first, what they think about the latest updates that's coming out, and second, what they're contributing to the boxing video game community. Stick around, guys. We got plenty that's going to come in the future from the WBGC. I know it's been kind of slow lately, that's due to the state of the game, but patience is a virtue. Believe me, behind the scenes, we're, making a lot of moves, cooking up a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be excited in the near future when we make those announcements. So I want to lead it off to Tenderless King. So 1.3.3 just came out. Um, like I said earlier, the momentum seems to be shifting towards the positive. Of course, the game's not perfect, but it's getting there. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely headed in the right direction. Um, I say some of the core things that needed to be integrated into the game is somewhat finally there. Not at the finish line quite, but again, somewhat quite there. It's enjoyable. It brings a natural Sims feel. It takes that arcade feel away, which is great. If your opponent is fighting Sim, um, it also has another side of the coin where a spammer, so to speak, can also try to do what they do, and it creates a balance or uneven balance depending on the individual that likes either half. But my personal opinion is great. I like the update. Um, I do expect some key things for them to touch in the future. But far as what they delivered right here, I think it's solid and it's definitely enough to do what we do as league members to enjoy the game and uh, promote the game as we do.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Do you have anything to say, Tim? Grumpy?
Yeah, I gotta echo what Tantalus is saying, man. The game is, in my opinion, in the best state it's been in since point 0.5, which is in early access, in my opinion, was the best copy that we've had up until potentially this one. It's been a roller coaster of a ride all through early access. Uh, for a year or so, year and a half, in my opinion, every time we take one step forward, we take two steps back. And, now we're getting, I think it was 4 patches in the matter of 5 weeks. The communication lines have definitely opened up between SCI and the player base. I think this new community manager is doing a hell of a job, actually putting things out there. They wouldn't hit the Facebook platform too much before, even though there's well over 70, 80,000 members that follow it on there. They're doing that now. The gameplay itself, it's definitely an improvement in the right direction. I think, they still have a long ways to go, but, at the same time, like Tanis was saying, at least now with these updates, it's heading in the right direction. If you want to play a sim style experience, you're actually somewhat able to do that with the way the game stands right now. You've got, I mean, we'll be honest, desync has been an issue since the game first, came out in early access. I think a lot of the problems with that is because of the fact that you have people running different hardware, you know what I mean? You've got different internet connections. And I think since some of the patches have helped with the desync, but I think, what I've learned anyway, what we've learned in the league is that if you have a wire connection and you're within a couple thousand miles of your opponent, you're really not going to have too much of a problem with desync. Yes, it's still going to be there. Will it ever be able to fix without an engine update? I don't know. But there's definitely things that SCI can do as far as making it playable with whatever desync is going to remain or may possibly stay in the games. So, I mean, you got different player lobbies. If I get 2 bars on a connection, I'm not even trying to play most of the time because most of the time it's either somebody with a wireless connection or somebody in another country. But when we do our league matches, we always used to try to stick to the sim style where we would do the play share, which would cut out the desync completely, but at the same time it would introduce a little bit of input lag. We were so upset with the way the desync had been running. That's all our league matches would be the PS5 play share. And now the game at least is in a state where knowing those conditions, we have a European league now that we started up because those cross continental connections just weren't cutting it. But all in all, the game's in a much better place. We've got a long ways to go, but I think we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, I think the game still has ways to go. And one thing I want to express is, here at the WBGC, here, like what you see here on the screen, we're not content creators, we're not trying to take credit for anything that's been happening in the past as far as with the communication. The real credit should be handed out to the community, all the players that's been speaking out, and we heard, we listening, and we were just relaying the messages that all the players has been, putting out there on social media. And I just wanted to, express that, you know, we are with you. This is called the WBGC, the World Boxing Game Community. We're covering all boxing games. And, Undisputed happens to be the one that's out, and it's out in retail and it's released. And a lot of people get, you know, mis misinterpreted that, you know, I- in my opinion, I think we were spoiled when the early release came out. If you think about it, you know, SCI is a independent company. It's a small indie company that put out a game out of passion for, you know, boxing fans and video game fans. And unfortunately, they were placed on a AAA marketing machine that gave that perception that when the game comes out, it's going to be just like a AAA. And you have an indie company that is under a lot of pressure, and the end result, of course, they had bad PR, and that's been rectified in this year. So I think SCI is on a good position moving forward, and I just want to reach out to the community. Let's root them on. I'm not trying to give anybody any passes, but the writing's on the wall. They are listening, they are improving, they are updating, and like it or not, I believe the community is not going anywhere. It's just going to get bigger, mature, evolve, and I want to make sure that we're here to spread good, right information to everybody out there, so there won't be so they won't have any. I don't know, what would you say? Help me out, guys. Like, what would be?
I think the biggest thing you touched on is that we're not content creators necessarily. We're definitely not influencers of any type. We do what we do because we want a legitimate boxing experience in the video game realm. And we're a bunch of like-minded people, and that's what we're about. We're not about getting likes and trying to shape the opinion of everybody else. In our league, I'm sure Tantalus League is the same. We take the input of the members overall. We have a set number of admins that we use, but at the end of the day, it's the player base that makes up the rules that we go by.
Well, at the end of the day, without the players, it wouldn't be us, and that's just factual information. So at the end of the day, if the if the movement, so to speak, is not right for the players, then this it's no us. But due to what they have done right here with 1 3.3, um, I know, and probably over in Sims too, the players are excited. They're more active than they were before. Um, and it's high level competition that's taking place. And that's what builds chemistry between gamers, being able to compete at a high level. So long as they keep moving in that direction where people can be diverse and have their own kind of style, so to speak, with the Sims way of fighting, I think Undisputed is gonna shoot through the roof at the end of the day. And again, yeah, I agree. Saying with these two guys, we're not influencers at all. Some of us feel the same way as the community feel, and some of us, at the end of the day, I can say this for myself, just want a stand up boxing game because we love the sport of boxing. Let's face it, I know I came from the fight night community, been playing fight night since they released it back in, I believe, 2001 or something like that. I could be wrong, but it's been a long time. So we were thirsty for something new, diverse, and I mean, I enjoy what they have done with the game, the 360-degree directional movement, the side step, the feints, the back step, you know, um, just being able to have that three-dimensional realm where you can project certain angles. I don't know about yeah, Grump, you do video editing right along with TC here. Um, you can capture a scene, a perfect angle, uh, and manipulate that footage to, you see what we do, and it looks great. So when you have gameplay like that, again, it goes back to having those players compete at a high compete level at a high. I mean, that's what it's all about, keeping that at a high level.
So, do you guys think that the game's at a competitive level where we can take it to that level as far as tournaments and and offline play and online tournaments. Is the community ready for that yet?
Um,
Is the game there yet?
I would say no. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm gonna be honest. In my opinion, I don't think the same version is on all three platforms. I know earlier on in the stage of the development, they said that they were going to implement crossplay. I know a good chunk of the community is waiting on that if that's the case. Um, I have the game on Xbox and I also have the game on PC. When I play it on Xbox, the speed is slow. The movement, the game play is a little chunky. PC, it's like almost, I wouldn't say a duck on water, but it's like you're out in a little 8-foot boat with a fishing rod and you're taking a trip. It's beautiful. The gameplay and the speed on PC is bringing more PC players, attracting them back to the scene. Just and it's spreading through the community word of mouth. Uh, I even have people in the PlayStation League under the UBL talking about getting a PC because they're hearing how it is on the PC. So it raises concern to me. Not only I feel like this, but a lot of the community players feel like the console uh, version is not quite as playable as PC. So doing online tournaments or having perks or prizes, giveaways, etc. It's kind of hard to do because again, a person want to fight at that high competitive level. So once, in my opinion, they get the same version on all three platforms, then we're really doing something. I believe the online connection will be a lot better, whether if it's distance or server engine needs to be replaced or what have you. But that's what needs to take place. They need to get the same version, the same whatever to function the same way across all three platforms. And then we can have online tournaments.
I'm going to have to agree with most of what he said. Without an engine upgrade, I don't ever see crossplay, honestly. Um, Myself, I have it on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and on PC. And I do agree the PC plays the best. Obviously, if you have good PC, it's going to be the most powerful hardware anyway. I do notice the definite difference on Xbox. It is definitely slowed down. I've had at least at early or excuse me at full release, there was definitely a much higher disconnect rate on the Xbox compared to the PlayStation. um In-person competition, I think the game's just about there as far as competitive play. Online, I mean, unless you want to have some significant rules, sort of what we do in the league play, I don't think it's in the state, at least the online ranked. And I know Tantalus will agree with me on this, that the online rank play, that's really the big question, the online rank play versus the league play, because you can get the mechanics working, you can get the desync taken care of, but at the end of the day, you're going to have two sets of people. You're going to have the one set that wants to play it. As Ash himself said, the game is intended to be played as a boxing simulation. And then you have another group of people that are all about the online ranked and spamming using whatever cheese, whatever the most efficient tactic available, the meta is to get that W. They don't care. So we try to tell people in our league anyway that, it's a high skill based league, but we have rules. You have to have a wire connection. We have a cap on power shots. We have a cap on how many hooks you can, because we're looking for that boxing experience. And we just sort of, try to tell people it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
Well, that's one of the things here that we want to, set some type of fair play, some type of rule sets where there is no taking advantage of other players. All the leagues has their own rules, but at least a standard. So when it does get to that level, all the players involved nationwide, worldwide, we'll have a understanding as far as what's expected, what is not expected. Kind of like how the FGCs ran, they all have rule sets that all the players abide by, and I think when the game gets to that competitive level, which I don't think it is there yet. Actually, the viewers, if you can leave on your comments, what's your preferred system? What do you guys think? Is PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox? Which system is going to be the go-to when we do get to that competitive level? Is it going to be the PS5, PC? I personally think it's probably going to be the PC. It's just a more powerful system, but I want to see what the chat, what the social media, what the audience would say, what the players will think about it. But going back to what I was talking about, yeah, I think we have, ways to go, but when we do get to that competitive level, if the online is broken, we figured a way where we could settle and deal with it. Um, but in the meantime, we're going to let the leagues handle their players, evolve, mature, get bigger and bigger, get that exposure that we want to provide for them, and enhance the experience for all the players out there. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. It's one of the few times you're going to see me on here, guys. I'm usually behind the scenes, but just wanted to introduce myself. And you have any final thoughts, Tantalus King or Grumpy?
I'll let you go first, Grump.
Yeah, man, the game's been up and down over the last year since release. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's definitely going in a much better direction. I'm on most of the different socials and see the posts. People are happy with the direction of the game. They're all in agreement. It's not perfect. It's got a long way to go, but it's definitely heading in the right direction. It's getting better. And I just want to give a shout out to Ash real quick, man. Whether he sees this or not, I don't know. But just from the bottom of my heart and the rest of the community, bro, we got your back, dude. Don't ever let anybody take your vision away from you, man. You know what you want to accomplish, and we're gonna get there, bro.
Yeah, I agree with Grump. We're headed in the right direction. I would say this is the foundation the community has been looking for. So we're here now. We have waited to have buddies that play Fight Night Champion. So I figure, we have waited this long. What's the point of it nagging, so to speak, right? Uh, just put on that seatbelt and enjoy the ride. You know, uh, it may be a slow Sunday drive, but that's okay. You have scenery, you have other stuff to keep you occupied along the way. It's just all about enjoying that ride. So at the end of the day, that's what I suggest to the community or people that is interested into the game. Uh, don't listen to the negative. Walk through that door with the open mind. You know, get in that car and see what that car is all about for you. You'll know if that car is for you or not as soon as you take off. So with that being said, be a leader. Don't be a follower. Stop listening to the negativity. You know, if you don't want to pay full price for the game, hop on CD Keys. They just got some new license. I think the game is 50% off. That's cdkeys.com. And enjoy yourself. And you pay half price for the game. You won't be mad if you don't like the game. I'm quite sure you don't waste money on other stuff. I mean, look at the price of food nowadays. So
Right.
can't be mad. So that's my suggestion to the community heading out the door. And we're going to keep enjoying the game and doing what we do as leagues. And like it or love it, this is where we at. And I'm enjoying it. So I hope you guys as well.
All right. I want to thank you guys for joining us late tonight. It's bedtime for me, and I'm pretty sure for everybody else. We old men here, but yeah, I just want to let the community know, hey, the viewers, thanks for watching our content, and if you want to be on the, if you're a player, you want to be on the show, leave a comment. We open the doors for everybody. We want to get everybody's opinion because believe it or not, people do watch our stuff, and we do have resources. And just let us know what's going on. Leave a comment on below. We'll get back to y'all. It's Talk the Walk, episode 10.